Pope Joan is one of the most mysterious and controversial figures in the history of the Catholic Church. The legend of the woman who allegedly became pope under the name John VIII in the 9th century intertwines with myths, intrigues, and conspiracy theories, sparking debates among historians and theologians for centuries. However, behind this story lies much more than just the mystery of the Pope's gender. Dark forces, secret societies, and unsolved intrigues that continue to provoke intense discussion. The story of Pope Joan. According to legend, Joan was born in Mainz, modern-day Germany, or in England, in the family of an Anglo-Saxon missionary. Possessing exceptional intellectual abilities, she disguised herself in male clothing and set off to study in Athens, where she amazed everyone with her knowledge of philosophy, theology, and medicine. However, her journey may not have been accidental. There are rumors that she was secretly sent by powerful church circles looking for a suitable candidate to carry out a certain mission. Under the name John the Anglo-Saxon, she arrived in Rome, where she made a brilliant career in church circles, but no one knew about her hidden past or intentions. Intrigues and conspiracies. After the death of Pope Leo IV in 855, Joanna was elected pope. However, some theorists argue that her rise was not accidental. Certain secret forces may have manipulated the election to establish control over the papal throne. This version is supported by rumors of mysterious murders and disappearances of high-ranking church officials during that period, suggesting possible political struggles within the church. Joan may have been a pawn in these dangerous games, or her role may have been much more strategic than it seems at first glance. According to the legend, Joan ruled for about 2 years until her true gender became known under tragic circumstances. During one of the processions, the Pope suddenly felt unwell and gave birth to a child right on the street. However, there were rumors that her pregnancy was the result of not an accidental affair, but a secret conspiracy, possibly involving a church or political alliance that the world never knew about. This shocking event led to her death. According to different versions, she was either stoned to death by an angry crowd or died from complications during childbirth. Some claim that her death was orchestrated by those who did not want her secret to be revealed to the world. Legends and rumors. In addition to the tragic legend of childbirth in the street, there are many other rumors. For example, it is claimed that Pope Joan was involved in a love affair with one of her close associates, and that this relationship led to her pregnancy. Other versions suggest that her secret relationship with high-ranking politicians or church officials was part of a larger conspiracy aimed at strengthening the influence of a certain faction within the church. Some researchers argue that Joan was not just a pope, but a symbol of how church intrigues and ambitions manipulated public opinion. Skeptics and alternative versions. Modern historians mostly tend to consider the story of Pope Joan a myth that originated in the Middle Ages. However, they also acknowledge that in history, there were often cases when inconvenient individuals were erased from memory and evidence of their existence was destroyed. Based on this, claiming that Joan could not have existed means ignoring the political and religious censorship of the time, which could easily have been used to conceal such inconvenient stories. Some scholars believe that the story of Pope Joan could have been an allegory or satire aimed at criticizing the Church's practices and morals of the time. However, it is entirely possible that the myth of the woman pope was also part of a larger conspiracy whose goal was to create an artificial scandal undermining the trust in the church leadership during that period. Cultural legacy. The story of Pope Joan not only inspired writers, but also became part of cultural memory, which continues to captivate interest to this day. In the Middle Ages, her image appeared in engravings and statues, symbolizing not only mystery, but also the struggle for power. In the 18th–19th centuries, her story became even more mystical, surrounded by new rumors and intrigues. One famous example is Emmanuel Royer's novel Pope Joan, in which the author added even more drama, linking her fate to political manipulations by the church elite. Modern interpretations of the myth of Pope Joan appear in films, theatrical productions, and even science fiction, where themes of disguise, deception, and gender identity are played out in unexpected contexts. She becomes a symbol of the fight for power, revenge, and ambition, which gives rise to new theories and myths. Analysis of historical sources. Some medieval chronicles, such as Chronicon Pontificum et Imperatorum by Martin Poliak, mention Pope Joan. However, critics consider these sources unreliable, as they were written centuries after the supposed events, which leaves room for conjecture and distortions. This once again raises the question of whether such a figure could truly have existed in a time when truth was easily replaced by convenient lies. Conclusion. Although there is no evidence of the existence of Pope Joan, her story remains a vivid example of how legends and myths can intertwine with reality. The rumors, intrigues, and conspiracy theories surrounding this mysterious figure continue to inspire writers, artists, and researchers, creating an aura of secrecy around this image, which may not be just a myth, but also part of a deep political game of its time.